Welcome back to Relay Gun Adventures and to the actual review of the Remington T-Rex Bullpup. So we've done a quick look at this and I've pointed out a few things. I've had a bit of time with it now. I've shot it a fair bit and I've checked a few of the details. So as you can see, black polymer stock. It's quite good quality plastic. It's hollow, but it's quite tough and it's got a nice feel to it. In fact, it does have a really nice feel to it. It doesn't feel cheap and nasty. Now, the overall length is 84 centimeters and the barrel is 400 millimeters of that. So 84 centimeters, 400 mil for the barrel. I've currently got the Vector Optics Veyron scope first focal plane on here. It comes with a 3x9 by 44, I think, unbranded, quite a serviceable scope, but obviously it's a bundled scope. This is a £300 rifle kit. It's not going to be great, so I haven't used it, but I can't see anything obviously wrong with it. It's probably worth about 30-40 quid. Comes with rings as well, so it's quite a bargain. Anyway, that aside, this is a lever action bullpup rifle. Now, previously I've had the Hatsan Flash Pup, which I liked. What I didn't like was the bolt action, and also the fact that the bolt action was right back here, whereas this lever's over here. Now, it's a long throw on the lever, but it's so smooth and so easy that isn't an issue. Here's another interesting thing with this. You can actually decock it. You just hold the lever down, pull the trigger when the safety's off, pull the trigger and ease it back. And that's it, done. So that's a nice feature. I like that. That could be very useful. Now, I did mention the noise level. It's a semi-silenced barrel, so it's shrouded and there are baffles in there. And I've taken that off and had a look, and there's about probably 100 mil of baffles or baffle stuff. It's all metal, so what happens is it creates almost a ring when you fire it. So it's not so much it's silenced, but it makes a different noise. So what I will do is I'll take the shroud off again. I'll put some felt in between the baffles, reassemble it, and see if that's better. Somebody's also mentioned that you can take the shroud off, fit a barrel adapter to take 1/2" UNF thread, then slide the shroud back up to the adapter, screw the silencer on, and if you use a Veyron silencer, the tapered variety, it nestles in there nicely. So I'm going to try that too, but I'm going to try it with a Hugget, I think, something a bit smaller. But that's another video. That's something else. Now, the 2-stage adjustable trigger is quite long out of the box. I haven't adjusted it yet. I'm literally just using it as it came. To adjust it, you do need to take the stock out of the action out of the stock, which is a bit of a nuisance, but it's not too bad. Now, I also said that this was very reminiscent of the Snow Peak P35, and I still think it is. But several people have pointed out that it's probably based on the PR900 action, and they're probably right. Other than the fact that that's a bolt action and this is a lever, and the bolt would have to be back here. So it's been completely redesigned to make it into a bullpup, and I think they've done a fantastic job. Now, as I said, it's not expensive. You can pick these up for about 300 quid. I think the most expensive is 329 and the cheapest I've seen is 289. The issue might be finding some stock. They seem to be thin on the ground, which is a bit of a worry, but it could be that they didn't really do a production forecast as such, sent a few into the UK to see what happens, and what's happened is everyone's bought them, and I for one think they're fantastic. This is probably going to get a lot of use, a lot more use than some of my more expensive rifles. In fact, there's a Brocock in there, which probably won't see much action this year, because I think I'll be using this instead. Now, the good thing about this is it's light. It's 2.2 kilograms, which is nothing really. I put a relatively small scope on it, which hasn't increased the weight very much, and this bipod on the end is very small and very lightweight. I'll probably swap that out, to be honest. It's one that was kicking around and I just popped it on because I thought it'd be good to show it in the video. And as I mentioned before, the Picatinny is on the stock ready to go. So there's no 3D printed barrel bands, no steel straps. It just literally clips on, tightens up, and away you go. It doesn't have any adjustment in the rubberized butt pad, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not an issue because this does fit me well. And there's no adjustment in the cheek piece, no riser. That might change. I might do something about that, but for now, out of the box, it doesn't have that. Again, it's not an issue, and you can always use different scope rings to get your eye level just right. For me, this is close to perfect. Really, the only things that I don't like, which are things that I never like on budget end rifles, the gauge on end of the tube. I'm not keen on taking the whole action out of the stock just to adjust the trigger, but that's what you get. 300 quid, you really can't complain. Once it's set up, it's going to be good to go for a long time. Now, I did clean the barrel and it was greasy, but that's no surprise. And I've had more expensive rifles that have been full of grease as well. Come a long way, they can be laying around for a long time, so they make sure that they're not going to go rusty. Now, talking about triggers again as well, the trigger on this, it is quite long. It's probably set to about £3 or £4. That's okay, it's quite usable, it's quite nice to shoot. I will adjust it. There's a reason behind that. The manufacturers don't want these arriving with air triggers and people having accidents and suing them left, right and centre. So they set them to a point where they know they're going to be safe, and that's what we've got. And I can't really complain because, as I say, it's still nice to shoot and it is a pretty good trigger. It's also got a metal trigger blade. Now, I've got a thing about trigger blades. I'm not keen on plastic triggers, never have been, never will be, and I don't know why. It makes no difference. But this is metal, and I don't know, just something about that feeling of cold metal on my fingertip. It just feels right. So that's a good overview. Now, the information that I haven't been able to get from either the manufacturer, well, I say the manufacturer, it's the importer or the retailer, is the capacity of this air tube. And I don't want to quote any figures until I know that's right. I'll be back with this rifle again. There's a few more things to do. One of those is to run some slugs through it. I'm going to try some Pro Hunter premium slugs. I'm not sure which ones yet, but I'll have a look around, see what I've got. And if I haven't got, then I will get, because I think that'll be very interesting. Power wise, I'm hitting about 11.2 foot-pound with JSB Jumbos. It's okay on those. It's not brilliant. I'm actually getting better results with Bisley Superfield, believe it or not, but not so much power. I think slugs could be a different story, and I'm really quite interested to see how that pans out. I think you will be too. So let's put something to a target. Full magazine. I was unsure about the magazine. Now I'm sure it's actually pretty good. It's similar in a lot of ways to the Chinese and Turkish magazines, where you turn it all the way around anti-clockwise until it stops, insert one pellet to hold it in position, then put the rest in, then close the cover. But it's a little bit nicer than most of the others I've seen, and it was pretty quick to fill up. In fact, I'll add a video of me doing that at some point. So I'll empty a magazine into a target. I'm at 30 yards. Now, I haven't made any videos for a while, so because the last time I used my target camera, I shot it, I'm using an old mobile phone up at the target, and I've got a lavalier microphone, which, if I remember to turn off or switch on the noise cancelling, shouldn't cause any issues. Anyway, we'll find out. Let's go and shoot some stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, I didn't hit the bullseye, but that was a nice tidy group. In fact, I'm very impressed with that group, considering that this is an inexpensive rifle. Those aren't particularly expensive pellets. It's a little bit windy today, and also I haven't used this rifle a great deal. I've probably fired 4 magazines through it, so I'm quite happy with that. Could also be that I haven't quite zeroed the scope properly. It's amazing the excuses I can come up with when I have to, but it's a good group. It's roughly where I wanted it to be. I'm not going to make any complaints about that at all. So just cut quickly. I'll show you the magazine and I'll get the target and we'll have a look at that. Be right back. Right, magazine. So this is the magazine. You probably recognise this designer magazine from a lot of the Chinese and Turkish rifles. Literally, you slide the cover all the way around till it's open, and you can see where the pellets actually fit in there. All you need to do is to turn this anti-clockwise all the way around until it stops, then drop in the first pellet, and that first pellet locks it in position, and you just load in the rest, and it's nice and quick, pretty reliable. As I say, I've done about 4-5 magazines now, no issues. Yeah, I think that's a nice magazine. I think that's going to be okay. I'll get some spares. There's a few companies advertising them. It's only a matter of time before somebody brings out an alternative magazine too. But that's that. Now the target. This is the said target. It's a bit damp and grotty, but that is it. So that's a good 5 group. It would be nicer if it was a little bit closer to the bullseye, but you can't have everything, or I can't anyway. So there you go. So in conclusion, it's accurate, it's well made, it seems like a good little bullpup rifle, and I'm very impressed with it. So when I come back next time, we'll look at the silencer options, we'll look at messing around with those baffles. I'll do a video of loading the magazine, although I don't think anyone's really going to be interested in that, but I'll do it anyway. If there's anything else you want to see me do with this, stick it in the comments, because I'm more than happy to have a tweak around and play with it. I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't want to say anything now, just in case I make a right mess of it. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated to all those that do and everyone that has. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.